chair over to Council President.
Thank you, Madam President. I have accused the council members. The chair recognizes council member Shipp. Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'm going to move a substitute motion to refer this to the Public Safety and Health Committee for a public hearing. Is there a second? Thank you. Discussion on the Shipp substitute. Councilmember Shipp. Thank you, Chair. As we talked about earlier in the meeting, this would amend chapters 440.10 and 440.20 of the City Code of Ordinances. It would add penalties and direct the chief of police or his appointees to be able to offer a ticket for anybody in violation. And as we specifically have under Chapter 440, a section called City-Owned Plazas, this correctly belongs formatted as an addition to our Code of Ordinances, and thus, under council rules, requires a first hearing and notice, and it is to be sent to the committee that oversees the Public Safety Code of Ordinances, which is the Public Health and Safety Committee. I'm not arguing the merits of the motion at this time, but I do object to a council that would attempt to pass an ordinance without a public hearing, particularly an ordinance that calls for new penalties, new citations, new actions by our police department. Specifically, when we already have a section of our Code of Ordinances called City-Owned Plazas that spells out the rules. We're going to change those rules. They'll have a fair, open, transparent public process and a public hearing to discuss those changes. Thank you, Councilmember. Prior to motion, Councilmember Montes.
Thank you, Mr. Vice President. I don't have a copy of the proposed substitute in front of me, so I don't know if it is an introduction and referral or if it is simply a request for a public hearing.
Thank you, Councilmember. So let me clarify. There's a technical motion to refer this resolution to Public Safety, Civil Rights, and Health Committee. That was Councilmember's motion, correct? That's seconded by Councilmember Gordon. That's a verification.
A further question is, but I heard it was a referral for the purposes of a public hearing, and I don't know if you can do that without having ordinance introduction. And so that's kind of my question, is what is actually the process?
Great. Thank you for that question, Councilmember Hodges. I'm going to clarify with the maker of the motion, but my understanding of it was to refer the resolution to Public Safety, Civil Rights, and Health. So I agree with you on the point that it would be inappropriate to direct a public hearing if there is no other ordinance. At this time, a possible outcome of the referral to Public Safety, Civil Rights, and Health could be an ordinance introduction at some point in the future, which would then require a public hearing. Councilmember Shipp. That's correct. It's just a referral of the subject matter of the resolution, or the resolution itself. It's not directing the committee to hold a public hearing. That's up to the committee to do at their own pace. Thank you for that clarification, Councilmember Shipp, on the motion. Prior to the motion, Council President Johnson.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Councilmember Colvin Roy pointed out to me that I did not move the resolution. Is that what I clear?
Okay.
The original resolution.
All right. So does that, so this is not such. Okay, great. Thank you. So someone can just give me a moment to speaker management. So the original motion is the Shipp amendment, or the Shipp substitute, to refer the subject matter to Public Safety, Civil Rights, and Health. So discussion on the original motion, the Shipp motion, Councilmember Gordon.
Yes, I would have been happy voting down the resolution that we had before us, that I believe was the motion, so I'm not sure how it's done. So it was withdrawn?
Councilmember Gordon, to clarify, and I apologize for adding to the confusion here. The item is on our agenda as it was amended as number 2 in resolutions. We are at number 2 in resolutions. The original motion that has been made is Councilmember Shipp's motion to refer this to Public Safety, Civil Rights, and Health. A motion to approve the resolution as brought forward by Council President Johnson was never made.
Okay. I'm clear.
Again,
So
my apologies for continuing.
it could potentially be moved, but there's no set, or it could be substituted for this motion. I'm definitely opposed to the resolution, and I appreciate Councilmember Shipp bringing in Chapter 440. Everybody should have a get the copy of it in front of you now. We did have a little discussion early on about adding this to the agenda, and, oh, sorry, we got stuck here. I also emailed it out to everybody as well. But it clearly shows that the rules for our city-owned plazas are indeed in our code of ordinances. We have them. I think they're adequate. I think this gives a lot of discretion. The city engineer can make a determination about what can go on, whether it needs a permit, and if he or she doesn't grant a permit, then it actually comes to the council and makes a determination. And we have some things there that we determine in our code right now should have a permit, including concert, exhibition, commercial venture, organized play, or picnic activities, or for any similar purposes. So I think that it's clear. I actually think it's enough. I actually don't think we need our committee to look into this. And I'm a little bit concerned about going back to the public safety committee, but I think that would be much more appropriate. The whole thing would probably be more appropriate for a ordinance amendment than when we do go through a public hearing process. I also just wanted to remind folks of what we said back in October. 9 of us anyway voted for a rather lengthy resolution about this, and we resolved that in order to create a shared dialogue through which to address the problems and generate solutions for 99% of Americans, the city stands in support of peaceful calls for serious reforms to the income tax, financial, and electoral systems, and of our education efforts and furtherance of those goals. And if we're standing in support and we want to create a shared dialogue, I think we need to do so, especially about what kind of First Amendment rights we're going to get involved in, to figure out how the message can be heard, how it can be discussed. And I really have concerns about a resolution coming forward like this when those people who are most engaged in the peaceful calls for serious reforms aren't consulted and involved in figuring out how we're going to help do that. So I hope that we can figure out a way to do that. And I think what we should be doing is exploring, working with the park board, the county, and others. Well, how can we allow this and create a forum for this that will be healthy, that will be safe for everybody in the city of Minneapolis, and embrace it. I actually think that it's great that we have our political leaders from Peru here with us today. But it's also very great that we have our political leaders from the city of Minneapolis here with us today, and that we should look at them and recognize that this is part of the solution. I mean, these people who want to change our world, this is what we need to be embracing and working with so we can improve things for everybody. In October, we said we were going to do that, and so I hopefully we can do that and we can move forward.
Thank you, Councilmember. Further discussion on the SHPA motion to refer this resolution to Public Safety, Civil Rights, and Health Committee. Councilmember Hodges.
Thank you, Mr. Vice President. I have another procedural question since things have been a little up in the air this morning. So if this passes, it goes to committee. If it doesn't pass, then somebody could make a motion for that resolution.
Correct.
Which means the order of this is a little tricky for someone who doesn't think that who basically thinks it's a solution in search of a problem. And so I'm not exactly sure how to proceed on this particular motion. I don't, by voting no to referral to committee, I don't want to give the impression that that I'm doing that because I would rather have something in the form of today. So I just wanted to ask the procedural question and make the point that I don't vote on this, but also the conversation might not be necessary.
Thank you, Councilmember. Further discussion on the SHPA amendment. Further discussion. You'll be surprised. So the chair to make final comments. I'm going to support Councilmember Schiff's motion because I think that's the appropriate place to have this discussion in committee. Whether or not ordinance changes come forward out of that discussion is yet to be determined. If Councilmember Schiff's motion passes, then we have disposed of this item, and there would not be another motion in order at this time. I agree with the argument that Councilmember Schiff and Councilmember Berger made at the beginning of this meeting. This is changing policy. This is changing ordinances within the city of Minneapolis, and we have an established, predictable, transparent, understandable way way to do that is most importantly includes opportunities for public involvement and public hearings, and that's how we govern in the city of Minneapolis. I want to thank so many people for coming down here. I want to thank you for your excellent behavior. I hope you enjoyed all morning. This is your government, and I'm glad that you are here participating in it. I would urge my colleagues to support council membership's motion to remove this work committee, clear up the lines, and if possible, have a public hearing on any ordinance changes that would come forward as a result of that. Thank you. Further discussion on council membership's motion to refer the subject for this resolution, public safety, civil rights, and health. Any discussion? Seeing that, I'm going to ask for a roll call so we have clear. Well, if you have a clerk, please call the roll on this item.
Councilmember Hodges.
Aye.
Samuel. Gordon. Aye. Bright. Aye. Hofstad.
Aye.
Schiff. Aye. Lilligren.
Aye.
Colvin Roy.
No.
Tuttle. Aye. Quincy. Aye. Linden.
Aye.
Goodman.
No.
President Johnson.
No.
There are 9 ayes and 4 nays.
That motion is adopted. This is